Welcome to the deep dive.
Okay.
Let's just jump right in. AI. It's not some, far-off sci-fi idea anymore. It's really changing the game for businesses right now.
Absolutely. And we've got a prime example today that really drives that home.
We're talking about Klarna, the buy now, pay later giant. They rolled out this AI assistant, and it's not just tweaking things. It's like a massive shift in how they operate.
Exactly. The scale of it and how fast it happened. That's what's really striking here. It's not just small improvements. It's making companies rethink customer service entirely.
Yeah, the numbers from just the first month are, well, they're kind of mind-blowing. This AI handled 2.3 million customer chats.
2.3 million.
Yeah, that's two-thirds of all their customer interactions. And get this, that's the work of about 700 full-time human agents.
700 people's worth of work. It's huge.
If anyone's still wondering if AI is, actually making an impact in the real world, well, this is a pretty big aha moment, right?
And it's not just about volume, which is also impressive, but the customer satisfaction scores. They were right up there with the human agents.
Really? On par?
Yeah, pretty much neck and neck, which kind of pushes back against that idea that, talking to an AI is always worse or less helpful.
That's a huge point. And there's more. Because the AI was good at getting things right the first time, Klarna actually saw repeat inquiries drop by 25%.
Think about that. Less frustration for customers.
Right. Happier customers, fewer headaches, and Klarna saves resources. Plus, and this is big, the time it took to solve a problem. It went from around 11 minutes average.
Which can feel like forever when you're waiting.
Totally. Down to under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes, that's a massive leap in efficiency. And just a better experience all around.
So when you start putting dollar signs on those efficiencies.
Yeah, it gets even more interesting. Klarna's estimating, what was it, a $40 million USD boost to their profits.
Up to $1 million, just for 2024, from this one AI assistant.
That's not pocket change. It's a serious financial impact, all down to using AI strategically. So, for anyone listening, even getting a fraction of that kind of efficiency gain in your own business, that could free up a lot, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about the money either. They mentioned it really helped them connect better with immigrant and expat communities.
The language aspect.
Exactly. The AI handles over 35 languages.
Yeah.
And it's on 2047 across all 23 markets they're in. That's huge for making service accessible to everyone.
That multilingual piece is key. It breaks down barriers,
And it
makes
can-
customers feel more comfortable, and honestly, it just lets you talk to way more people effectively.
So that's what we want to dig into today, really unpack how Klarna pulled this off. What's this AI actually doing? And maybe more importantly for everyone listening, how can you apply something similar?
Right, because Klarna has deep pockets, sure. They built their own thing. But the tech and the ideas behind it, they're becoming much more available now.
And there are tools out there, accessible tools, that offer similar kinds of power. We're going to look at one specifically, Apex AI from Diatomic.
Exactly. Klarna shows what's possible. But we can learn from that and see how tools like Apex AI let, businesses of all shapes and sizes get those same kinds of benefits. Efficiency, better customer experience, the whole package.
Okay, so let's dive into the Klarna AI itself. We know it uses openAI tech, right? Their COO, Brad Lightcap, even pointed to Klarna as a leader in, actually using AI to get stuff done.
Yeah, they're built on that foundation. So what's it handling day to day? It's basically all the common stuff you'd contact customer service about.
Like what?
Refunds, returns, problems with payments, cancellations, dealing with disputes, fixing invoice mistakes, all those things that take up a ton of agent time.
Gotcha. The routine stuff, the things that human agents probably don't find super exciting anyway.
Exactly, it frees them up. But the AI also does proactive stuff, like giving updates on balances or payment schedule.
Oh, so it tells you before you even need to ask.
Right, and it can explain things like how purchase power works or spending limits, things that can be confusing.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's handling problems and trying to prevent them. And doing it 247 in all those languages.
Precisely. Klarna's CEO, Sebastian Siemiatkowski, he talked about this. He said it lets them give, a superior customer experience.
Makes sense.
And it makes the jobs for their human staff more interesting because they deal with the trickier stuff. Plus, obviously, better returns for investors.
But he also flagged something important, didn't he? About the bigger picture.
He did, yeah. He stressed that AI is going to have this profound impact on society way beyond just business. And he urged everyone to think carefully about the societal side, the political side, as this tech rolls out.
That's a crucial reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the efficiency gains and forget the wider effects.
Absolutely. The business case is strong, no doubt. But we have to keep that broader view, the ethical questions, the societal shifts. C. Makowski's point is well taken. It's not just about Klarna's bottom line.
Okay, so Klarna built their own amazing AI. Big investment, big resources, but most businesses can't just do that, right?
Not realistically, no. The cost, the expertise needed, it's a huge undertaking.
So that brings us back to solutions like Apex AI. You're saying it can deliver similar results, kind of democratizing this power.
That's the idea. Klarna's a great case study, a blueprint. But Apex AI offers the tools to follow that blueprint more affordably. And let's look at a real example. Onyx Radiance, they actually used Apex AI.
Okay, Onyx Radiance. Tell me about them.
So they're a company successful in Israel for years, right? Since 2015. They decided, okay, time to go global.
Big step.
Huge step. And their CEO, Galia Hirsch, shared how they used Apex AI for that expansion. And what's really interesting is how simple the setup was.
Simple. How simple?
They basically just took all their existing stuff, brochures, customer reviews, social media posts, product details, even scientific reports.
All the stuff businesses already have lying around.
Exactly. In different languages, too. Hebrew, English, Russian, French. And they just uploaded it all into a Google Drive folder.
That's it. Drag and drop.
Pretty much. That's the beauty of these intake systems. They can just ingest all that varied information. And the results for Onyx Radiance, pretty dramatic, pretty fast.
Okay, what happened?
Well, Apex AI helped them spin up a full B2B website fast in 12 languages with localized pricing, shipping info, everything.
12 languages, wow.
And social media, too. They launched and managed 36 different accounts, Instagram, Facebook, all in native languages.
36 accounts. How many people did this take?
That's the kicker. But first, they also got a multilingual AI email agent. It handles customer questions, checks order status automatically in their Shopify and their Odoo ERP system.
So it talks to their other business systems.
Yep. Fully integrated, plus WhatsApp bots, Telegram bots for instant support, even integrated their 24/7 hotline with email marketing. Really connected everything for wholesalers, retailers, individual customers.
Okay, now the team size.
Yeah.
How many people are running this global operation?
Yeah. 3, including the CEO.
3 people. Seriously.
Seriously. And Galia Hirsch said they actually have less work now than when they were just focused on Israel.
Less work, expanding globally. How?
Because the AI handles so much. And customer response times went from hours, sometimes days, down to seconds.
Seconds. That's insane.
Total game changer for customers, sat and just running the business. Galia strongly recommends this kind of approach for anyone looking to scale globally without, hiring armies of multilingual staff or running 247 shifts.
That's a powerful story. And it's not just them, right? You mentioned another company.
Right. SMS Chemicals, LTV. Different industry, but similar challenges. They're a big chemical manufacturer in Israel, been around over 20 years. Strong domestically labs, production, distribution, sales teams, trucks, the works.
Okay. Established player.
Very.
Oh.
But international expansion, they struggled. For 12 years, they tried, invested a lot in people, went to all the trade shows.
That's traditional route. Expensive, complex.
Exactly. Dealing with compliance, logistics in new countries. It's tough going, not much success.
So what changed? They brought in Apex AI.
They did. And the contrast is stark. In just 1 year, 12 months, they expanded into the U.S., Mexico, Colombia, France, Belgium, Poland, Germany, Austria, Spain, Portugal, Nigeria, Kenya, Morocco, a whole list of countries.
Wait, in 1 year? After struggling for 12.
Yep. And here's the kicker. They did it without adding any new staff. No extra hiring, no expensive international travel for sales teams.
How? What did Apex AI do for them specifically?
It gave them localized websites for each market instantly, targeted social media presence, marketing brochures automatically translated and adapted, and crucially, that 247 instant customer support in the local language.
So buyers in Nigeria or Mexico could get answers immediately in their language.
Exactly. No waiting for the Israeli office to wake up. Their CEO, Modi Lahat, talked about the huge drop in operational costs and the jump in efficiency. He's now super confident about expanding even more in 2025, all thanks to the AI handling the heavy lifting.
Okay, 2 very different companies, same kind of dramatic result. It really shows this isn't just for, tech startups.
Absolutely. Chemicals, cosmetics, it applies across the board. But I guess the big question everyone has is, how? How does something like Apex AI actually do all this?
Right. We've seen the amazing results. Let's get into the how. But, let's keep it focused on the business side, making money, saving time. Less jargon, more practical benefit.
Agreed. Think about all the information your company already has. Piles of it, right? PDFs, contracts, SOPs, customer feedback, training guides, probably sitting in like digital folders somewhere.
Yeah, scattered all over the place usually.
Right. So the Apex AI intake engine, it takes all those, let's call them dusty digital folders, and instantly turns that information into usable knowledge for your AI.
Instantly.
Pretty much. It gives your AI a brain that actually understands your business, your products, your processes.
So the AI isn't just giving generic answers, it's using our own stuff.
Precisely. Your information, not some generic data set. That means way more accurate, relevant answers for customers, but also for your own employees. Less time hunting for stuff.
And that directly saves money.
Yeah.
Right. Especially support costs.
Absolutely. An AI armed with your knowledge can handle tons of FAQs, common problems, product questions 24/7. You don't need to scale your human team quite so aggressively. That's savings on salaries, training, HR. It adds up fast.
And it saves time for the existing employees too.
Huge time savings. Instead of digging through emails or shared drives, employees just ask the AI, what's our policy on X? Where's the latest template for Y? Boom, instant answer. Cuts down internal emails, speeds up onboarding for new hires. It just makes everything run smoother.
So it's more than just a chatbot. Because it knows your stuff, it becomes this really useful agent for support, internal questions, training.
Exactly. It gets the nuances of your business. It can work in multiple languages, understand different file types, even read scanned documents. It becomes a genuinely powerful asset.
And you said setting it up is easy, like the drag and drop thing.
Yeah, the zero manual work idea. You just connect it to, say, a Google Drive folder, drop files in. The system sees them, figures out the format, pulls out the text even from images using OCR.
OCR.
Optical character recognition, reading text from pictures.
Got it.
Yeah, pulls the text, cleans it up, removes duplicates, and feeds it into the AI's knowledge base.
Yeah.
All automatic, 24/7. It just works in the background like an intelligent processing pipeline.
That sounds incredibly useful for sales teams too.
Oh, definitely. Imagine a salesperson on a call. Customer asks about a competitor or a specific discount. Instead of saying, let me check and get back to you.
They just ask the AI.
Right. Instant access to the latest sales decks, brochures, pricing, get quick answers, faster training for them, fewer mistakes, more closed deals.
And what about like compliance, legal stuff? That's usually dense and hard to understand.
Yeah, Apex AI can help there too. It can basically translate those dense legal or compliance docs into more understandable summaries or answers. Great for training, for audits, even for answering investor questions quickly. And it's always using the latest version because it keeps processing new files.
And the global expansion part we saw with ONYX and SMS.
That's a huge benefit. You can instantly translate all that internal knowledge into different languages, making it searchable for international teams or customers. It just removes a massive barrier.
Okay, so if we touch on the tech just briefly,
Right.
you mentioned OpenAI and RAG.
Right. RAG, retrieval augmented generation, fancy term, but the basic idea is simple. You take a powerful but general AI like ChatGPT, and you give it specific, relevant information retrieved from your own documents before it generates an answer.
So it looks up the facts first.
Exactly. It grounds the AI's answer in your actual data. And the Apex AI intake engine is basically the super efficient system that prepares and feeds all your company's data into that RAG process. It's the fuel.
And you also mentioned vector embeddings.
Yeah, that's the clever way the information is stored. Instead of just keywords, it stores the meaning and context of the information. So the AI can find relevant stuff even if the words aren't an exact match. It understands the concept. Apex AI uses this to make the AI's understanding much deeper.
Makes sense. And big consulting firms are seeing the value in this.
Oh yeah, McKinsey, PwC, Gartner, they're all talking about huge cost reductions in support, faster responses, and how this kind of vector search is becoming critical for businesses to unlock their own knowledge.
Can you give a couple more examples, like for specific industries?
Sure. SaaS company. Feed it your API docs, user guides. The AI becomes an expert support agent for developers and users. Law firm. Feed it case law, legal precedents, instant research assistant, healthcare. Protocols, research papers, e-commerce, product specs, return policies, manufacturing, safety manuals, machine specs, consulting, past project reports, frameworks. The list goes on.
It really applies everywhere. You had a comparison, didn't you? Manual versus Apex AI.
Yeah, just think about it manually. You're uploading files one by one, copying text, trying to organize it, maybe summarizing bits, then struggling to get it into some database. It's slow, messy, easy to make mistakes.
I can picture the headache.
Right. With Apex AI intake engine, drag drop. Done. It's automated, instant, consistent, handles everything.
So the bottom line is, most companies have the knowledge. They want the AI agent. Apex AI is the bridge, the missing piece.
That's exactly it. It connects your existing knowledge to the AI quickly and easily, turns potential into reality in minutes, not months.
Okay, let's zoom in a bit more on that intake engine itself. You described it as watching Google Drive.
Yeah, think of it as this fully automated smart system. Its whole job is to ingest your documents and vectorize them, prepare them perfectly for the AI. It just sits there monitoring your designated Google Drive folder.
And it handles lots of file types: PDFs, text docs, images.
All the common ones: PDF, RTF, TXT, images. And yeah, for images or scanned PDFs where the text isn't selectable, it uses that OCR tech we mentioned to pull the text out accurately.
Then it breaks it down.
Right. Parses it, chunks it into logical pieces the AI can digest. But it also does smart stuff, AI-powered classification.
What does that mean?
It figures out the main topics, tags the document, creates summaries, structures the data, makes it much easier for the AI to understand and retrieve later. And it spots duplicates using HASH detection so you don't feed the AI the same thing over and over. It keeps the knowledge base clean.
And it plugs into things like Pinecone.
Seamlessly. Pinecone is a popular vector database. That's where the contextual meaning, the embeddings, are stored. Apex AI handles getting the processed information into Pinecone correctly. And the whole thing runs 24/7, hands-free, and scales up automatically if you suddenly dump a load more documents in.
So this engine, it's really the foundation, isn't it? It's what makes the chatbot smart about your stuff.
Absolutely. It's the difference between a generic chatbot and a truly powerful AI tool that understands your business, your files, your languages. It takes the raw material, your documents, and refines it into high-grade fuel for the AI.
That before and after picture you painted, manual chaos versus just dropping files. That's pretty compelling.
It really is. Like giving your business an Iron Man suit, enhancing its capabilities massively with very little effort on your part.
Can you quickly list some of the key features again, just bullet points?
Sure. Basic document stuff. Auto-detecting files, handling different formats, converting them, finding duplicates, organizing them, notifying you.
Okay.
Then the AI analysis. Classifying content, finding topics, adding metadata, summarizing, detecting language, even analyzing tone.
Tone analysis. Interesting.
Yeah. Then vector database integration. Smart chunking, Pinecone integration built in, making sure data persists, organizing it with namespaces, adding more metadata.
And reading scan stuff.
Yep, OCR and advanced processing. Image to text, reading scanned PDFs it mentions using Mistral AI for some of that handling multi-page docs, keeping things like markdown formatting intact.
You can customize it.
To an extent, yeah. Custom categories, maybe pulling data from other places besides Google Drive, custom notifications, custom metadata fields, tweaking database settings, and obviously support and maintenance, monitoring, error handling, updates, tech support, health checks. It's a full package.
Wow. Okay. So bringing it all together, Klarna's story isn't just some, futuristic dream. It's happening now.
Exactly. 700 agents worth of work handled by AI, $40 million profit boost expected. That's real-world impact today. It shows what's possible.
So for everyone listening, the question is, think about your own company. Where's that valuable knowledge hiding in your documents?
Yeah.
What are those frustrating bottlenecks in customer service or even just finding information internally?
Because tools like Apex AI, as we saw with Onyx Radiance and SMS Chemicals, provide a clear path. They let businesses, big or small, harness AI like Klarna did.
Turning that hidden knowledge into a real asset.
All right, cutting costs, freeing up people's time for more valuable work, enabling growth, even global expansion without the old headaches.
So the final thought to leave people with is, could AI be that key? The key to unlock your company's next level of growth, efficiency, allowing you to focus on the big picture, on innovation, not just fighting fires or doing routine tasks.
What if the answers, the insights you need to really move the needle, are already sitting there in your documents just waiting for AI to unlock them? It's definitely something worth thinking about, exploring further.